honoring the graduating class of 2005. Please welcome the academic procession led by the faculty of the University of Washington. Entering the stadium are candidates for the various doctoral and professional degrees. Candidates for the various master's degrees are now entering the stadium. Ladies and gentlemen, candidates for the bachelor's degrees from the College of Arts and Sciences are now entering the stadium. Bachelor's of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, And Bachelor of Music candidates are on the north. Bachelor of Science candidates are on the south. Ladies and gentlemen, on the south side of the stadium, please welcome bachelor's candidates from the College of Engineering. Candidates from the College of Arts and Sciences continue to enter on the north. Entering the stadium are candidates from the College of Forest Resources. stadium on the south side are candidates from the College of Forest Resources. Candidates from the Information School are now entering the stadium. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome candidates from the Business School. Candidates from the College of Arts and Sciences continue to enter on the north. From the Business School continue entering on the south side of the stadium. Candidates from the College of Arts and Sciences continue on the north. candidates from the College of Ocean and Fishery Sciences, followed by candidates from the School of Nursing, the School of Medicine, and the School of Dentistry are now entering the stadium. Please welcome the School of Nursing, the School of Medicine, and the School of Dentistry on the south side of the stadium. Candidates from the College of Arts and Sciences continue to enter on the north. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome candidates from the College of Architecture and Urban Planning. Please welcome candidates from the School of Social Work, the School of Public Health and Community Medicine. final groups of candidates entering the stadium are candidates from the College of Arts and Sciences on both north and south sides of the stadium. Ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to the west end of the stadium and welcome the procession of deans of the university's 17 schools and colleges. The academic procession concludes now with the entrance to the stadium of the University of Washington Regents. President and Vice Presidents, led by philosophy professor and University Marshal, Ronald M. Moore.
The commencement exercises of the University of Washington will be opened with a presentation of the colors by the Joint ROTC Color Guard and with the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner by Teresa Lewis, a graduate student in the School of Music. The audience will please rise. Please be seated. It is my pleasure to present Dr. Mark A. Emmert, President of the University of Washington, who will preside over these exercises.
Thank you. Welcome to the 130th Commencement Ceremony of the University of Washington. Commencement ceremonies are an expression of academic traditions going back hundreds of years, and they symbolize some of the most fundamental values of our civilization, most particularly the pursuit of truth, the preservation of freedom, and the cultivation of a climate of civility. These ceremonies are also festive, celebrating the commencement of new activities and challenges in the lives of our graduates, as well as the successful conclusion of one phase of their formal education. The diversity of this university is nearly as striking as its distinction, and the graduates today are completing academic courses of study which reflect the complexity of this society and the intellectual concerns of our faculty and our students. I'm honored, therefore, to be the first to congratulate formally the degree and award recipients and to welcome all of you to this wonderful ceremony. These graduates should be very proud of themselves, and I know that all of the rest of us are very proud of them as well. It's appropriate, therefore, that we should all stand up, each and every one of you, including the graduates, and applaud the class of 2005. And now, while you are still standing, I would like to ask the graduates if you would please turn to your family and friends in the audience and say thank you for all that they have done to bring you to this place and time. Thank you. Please be seated. Now, some little bit of statistics may be of interest to you. Over this past academic year, more than 7,100 students have earned their bachelor's degrees at the UW, and more than 10,500 new degrees overall have been awarded. Most of these new degrees are divided almost evenly between men and women. Women, though, have a slight edge in bachelor's degrees, master's, JD, and MD degrees. Men, on the other hand, have a slight edge in PhDs. Somewhat larger gaps are found among the new pharmacists. 63% are women, and the new dentists, 69% are men. Sounds like they ought to get together. Approximately 4,500 of this year's graduates are participating in the ceremony today, and many others have participated in separate ceremonies in the various schools and colleges. We are very pleased to have each and every one of you and your families and friends with us here today. The splendid music you've been listening to during the processional, and which you will hear later in the program, is being provided for us this afternoon by the students of the School of Music's Wind Ensemble under the direction of Professor Timothy Saltzman. As you can tell, they are gifted musicians, and we greatly appreciate their participation here today. Please join me in thanking them. The ultimate responsibility for this university lies with the members of the Board of Regents, 10 citizens of the state who are appointed by the governor and confirmed by the state senate. These dedicated men and women serve without pay and devote many hours each year to the welfare of our university. 9 of our regents are with us this afternoon, and I would like to introduce them to you at this time. Please hold your applause until they are all introduced. Jeffrey H. Brotman, Chairman of the Board. Sally Jewell, Vice Chair. Stanley H. Bayer. Daniel J. Evans. William H. Gates. Frederick C. Kiga. Constance L. Proctor. Shelley Yap. And Alexander E. Bolton, our Student Regent for the year just ended, and William Rasmussen, Student Regent for the coming year. Please recognize our Regents. In addition to the Regents, we have seated on the platform this afternoon the Chief Academic and Administrative Officers of the University, including the Provost, whom you will meet in a moment, the Vice Presidents, the Deans of the schools and colleges, who will be introduced in due course, the leadership of the Faculty Senate, the elected student leadership on campus, the President of the Alumni Association, and faculty members, professors emeriti, and other representatives of the various schools, colleges, and departments of the university. Let me take a moment, though, to recognize the extraordinary service of one Vice President who is about to retire. Ernest, would you please stand? Vice President Ernest Morris has headed the UW Office of Student Affairs since 1982. He has launched 23 graduating classes under 4 different presidents. That will tell you something about his value and his devotion to the University of Washington. His office oversees some of our most complex, sensitive, and important work: admissions, the registrar's office, financial aid, housing and student services, career services, student organizations, and much, much more. Over the years, Vice President Morris has led enormous change in the way we work, and the work is done here. Changes that have brought students greater ease and efficiency, more financial aid, increased respect for differences, and even better food. What has not changed is Dr. Morris's abiding concern for students, his unfailing integrity, and his deep belief in the kind of place this is, a public research university that holds out opportunity for students of all sorts and under all conditions. Dr. Morris's achievements will still be helping students long after he is gone, and his colleagues and I will miss his distinctive presence among us. Please join me in saluting Vice President Ernest Morris. Ernest. I would also like to acknowledge the many members of the faculty serving today as commencement marshals. Their names are listed on page 11 of your programs. And now I'd like to say a few brief words to the graduates. This is my first University of Washington commencement as president, and the view from up here, I must say, is inspiring indeed. You all look terrific. And from all I know, you are terrific, and in wonderfully varied ways. Some of you have been academic stars since kindergarten. Others of you are here on a second or even a third chance. But you're all here because you are following proud family traditions, or you are creating traditions by earning your very first degrees for your families. Some of you have known for years that you would end up in medicine or history. Others have followed paths and found passions where you couldn't possibly have foreseen them before. One of the most remarkable things about this university is the sheer range of its students. We are a public university with students from every corner of the state, not to mention every corner of the nation and the world, from every walk of life, with every conceivable kind of dream and ambition. In that we should all rejoice. The University of Washington is in the business of transforming lives. We do that in thousands of ways. Our research projects produce innovations that make lives better. Our medical school produces doctors and treatments that make our lives healthier. Our artists produce drama and music and painting that makes our lives richer. And most fundamentally, our education transforms the lives of our students. Every one of you will have a fuller life for having been here, a life of higher promise, wider opportunity, deeper knowledge, and a greater ability to keep expanding that knowledge over a lifetime. Think about the person you were when you got here a few years ago from high school or community college. Now think about that same person sitting here today. Is there a single one who thinks those two people are the same or even remotely close? This is a big and complicated place, and so the recipe for change has been different for each and every one of you. A custom blend of classrooms, research labs, friends' dorm rooms and apartments, the quad in the spring, and Husky football in the fall. Your favorite hangout on rainy evenings. But for all of you, transformation is what happened here. Today, of course, is not the end of that story, but it's a turning point. It's a moment to be very proud of putting one kind of challenge behind and turning to another one down the road. For me and your teachers and mentors, it is a privilege to share in that pride and that excitement. So go forth and celebrate. Throw your caps in the air or jump into Lake Washington if you like. And then tomorrow, start transforming your UW education into the splendid lives of service and fulfillment. I wish you all the very best. And now I would like to ask Kristen Wright and Elisa Pupko to present the class gift. Kristen has earned Bachelor of Arts degrees in Communication and Political Science. Elisa is graduating today with a Bachelor of Arts degree in Drama. Kristen and Elsa chaired the Senior Gift Council. Thank you to both of you for your leadership. The senior class has made this wonderful early start in their philanthropy, and here they are. How are you two?
Good afternoon. Elisa and I worked with a volunteer team of 30 fellow seniors to organize the Senior Gift Campaign. This was our chance to give something back and make a difference in the lives of future UW students. Because the books we have all mastered from cover to cover are so important to our learning and so expensive, we decided this year to create the Class of 2005 Textbook Scholarship. This endowed scholarship will be awarded to UW students for generations to come. Among all 3 UW campuses, Seattle, Tacoma, and Bothell, we have raised a total of over $38,000, with 20% of our class donating to the gift. Thank you. Moreover, we soundly defeated WSU seniors in the 2nd annual Husky Cougar Challenge.
We want to thank you, the class of 2005, for your generous participation. We also want to thank many of your parents who made gifts in support of their sons and daughters. We would like to wish you all the best as we begin to enter the real world. Remember, success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. If you love what you are doing, you will be successful. And now, President Emmert, we present you with the names of all the donors to the Class of 2005's Senior Gift.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Wonderful. Good to see you. Yes,
You too.
good to see you.
Thank you.
Look lovely. On behalf of the University of Washington, I accept with thanks and with pride this generous gift from all of you of the Class of 2005. Now you all have a share in the university's future. The Chief Academic Officer and Chief Budget Officer of the university is Acting Provost David Thorud, who will present this year's Teaching and Public Service Awards. But before he does, I want to extend to David the thanks of the entire university community for the job he has done as Acting Provost over the past 2.5 years. 5 years ago, he thought he had retired after long service as Dean of the College of Forest Resources and as a general administrative workhorse. But then came an unexpected vacancy in the provost's offices, and the university turned to its favorite pinch hitter, David Thorud, to fill in, and he has done so on many similar occasions in the past. His steady hand and deep knowledge of the UW have served us all well and made my first year here immeasurably easier. Soon we will have a new provost, and David can try once more to retire. Please join me in wishing him well. David?
Thank you, Mr. President, and friends and colleagues. Affirming the university's dedication to teaching excellence, the university each year presents teaching awards to faculty and to graduate teaching assistants. 8 University of Washington professors and 2 graduate students with teaching responsibilities have been selected to receive awards this year. I will ask them to rise and remain standing until all are introduced. The recipients of the Distinguished Teaching Awards are Julie K. Stein, Professor of Anthropology, Louis E. Wolker, Professor of Law, Philip J. Reed, Associate Professor of Chemistry, Mehran Mesbahi, Assistant Professor of Aeronautics and Astronautics, and Laura M. Little, Senior Lecturer in Psychology, period. These folks are selected by a committee of faculty, students, and alumni. The honorees were cited for superior mastery of their disciplines, their ability to transmit knowledge, their scholarship, and their concern for students. The recipient of the Marcia L. Landau Distinguished Graduate Mentor Award is Leslie Barrett Olswang, Professor of Speech and Hearing Sciences, who is unable to be here today. The recipient of the S. Sterling Monroe Public Service Teaching Award is David J. Olson, Professor of Political Science, who also could not be here today. The recipient of the James D. Close Award for the Advancement of Learning Communities is Stan Chernikoff, Senior Lecturer in Earth and Space Sciences. The recipients of the Excellence in Teaching Awards are Mae C. Henderson, a teaching assistant in women's studies, and Jennifer L. Lavey, teaching associate in drama. We are very proud of our teaching faculty, and the honor these recipients receive today is especially precious to a member of the academic community. Please join me in applauding these exceptional teachers. The university also presents an award in recognition of outstanding public service on the part of a university faculty or staff member. This year's recipient is Dr. Bruce M. Pasady, who is a professor of medicine, epidemiology, and health services, who could not be with us today because of a previous public service commitment. Dr. Pasady is a practicing internist at Harborview Medical Center and an active researcher in treatments for heart disease. A major focus of his research has been the safety and efficacy of drugs. He has used this research in a sustained campaign to educate doctors, patients, and the general public on the dangers of under-tested drugs and the need for more stringent safety procedures at the Food and Drug Administration, or in other words, the FDA. During the early years of the 1990s, Dr. Pasady investigated 2 new drugs for high blood pressure, approved by the FDA after short-term trials. He showed that one drug actually increased the risk of heart attacks and that both were less effective than older, simpler drugs. More recently, he helped expose the inadequate testing and unethical marketing of the cholesterol drug Baycol. And last November, he was a chief witness at Senate hearings about the withdrawal of the painkiller Vioxx. Dr. Prasady's expertise and integrity have made him a national figure in the field of drug safety. For his independence and courage in challenging prevailing views, for his dedicated work to safeguard the health of millions, for his contributions to public policy, and for years of effort freely given, the university commends Dr. Bruce Prasady. Please join me in recognizing his contributions.
Since 1932, we have presented a medal to the graduating senior who has achieved the most distinguished academic career at the university. Last year, for the first time, we began presenting 2 awards. One medal is given to a student who has completed at least 3/4 of his or her degree requirements at the university. The other is given to a student who entered the university with at least 60 transfer credits from one of Washington's community colleges. Will Elizabeth Betsy Aaron Gray please come forward? Betsy Gray graduated in 2001 from Central Kitsap High in Silverdale, Washington. She came, as Silverdale fans here, she came to the university intending to become a doctor, but her first biology course, scintillating, she calls it, shifted her sights to biomedical research. She soon joined the research lab of Professor Hanali Rohali Baker in chemistry, biochemistry, where she has worked for 2 independent research projects. For both projects, Betsy's name appears on papers published or in progress, and she has presented her work at 9 UW or National Research Symposia. Meanwhile, she has pursued demanding honors coursework, served for 4 years as a peer health educator, and volunteered regularly in various healthcare settings. Grades are not the sole determinant of this award. The selection committee looks at many other things as well, such as the number of honors and upper division courses, but grades are certainly important, and Betsy is graduating today with a 3.98 GPA. Her many scholarships and awards include a NASA Space Grant Scholarship, 2 Mary Gates Research Scholarships, the National Alliance for Scholastic Achievement Scholarship, the Honors Bordeaux Scholarship, and election to Phi Beta Kappa. This spring, she became one of the university's first 2 winners of a Gates Cambridge Scholarship for Study in England, an award that went to only 38 students nationwide. Betsy is graduating summa cum laude with a Bachelor of Science degree in cellular and molecular biology with minors in both chemistry and public health. This fall, she will begin graduate work at Cambridge, investigating the molecular and genetic basis of cancer. It is my great pleasure to present to you, Betsy Gray, this medal in recognition of your outstanding achievements at the university. Betsy? Will Ime Jen LaPlante please come forward? I would also like to ask President Jean Floten of Bellevue Community College to join us, if you might. President Floten. Great. Ime was homeschooled here in Seattle. In high school, she entered the Running Start program at Bellevue Community College, and 2 years later, she transferred to the UW with an associate's degree in physics. At the age of most college freshmen, she plunged right into upper-level courses in math and physics. She also pursued research opportunities from the very beginning. She says physics professor Henry Lubati was an inspiration and role model for all of her research. In one action-packed period, Ime spent 3 months doing research in Lyon, France, in a program sponsored by the National Science Foundation, and then immediately headed for Chicago and a stint at the Fermi National Accelerator Lab. Ime is graduating summa cum laude with a Bachelor of Science degree in physics and a University of Washington grade point average of 3.96. Ime came to the university with a W. Samuelson Scholarship for Women in Science and Technology and a NASA Space Grant Scholarship. Here she has received 2 prestigious awards from the Physics Department and the English Department's Andrew Hillen Essay Prize. Her leisure interests include playing the piano, swimming, photography, and opera. Ime plans to spend her life as a scientist and educator, helping to answer some of the really big questions in physics. This fall, she will start PhD studies at the University of Chicago, and over the summer, she will join a Chicago chemistry research team at CERN, the world's largest particle physics accelerator lab. President Floten and I join in presenting you, Ime, with this medal in recognition of your outstanding achievements during your undergraduate career. Well, it's just a shower. It is June. At this time, I'd like to recognize those students who are candidates for President's Medals by virtue of academic performance in the top 0.5% of all graduating seniors in their respective colleges. These students, along with President's Medalists today, are graduating today with the university's highest baccalaureate honors, summa cum laude. Their names are listed in page 15 of the commencement program. The University of Washington Alumni Association, who is tolerant of the rain, plays a vital role in the life of the university and provides a continuing link between our graduates and the university. It is my pleasure to introduce Karen Turner-Lee, President of the UW Alumni Association. Ms. Turner? The wet Ms. Turner. The wet Ms. Turner is not here. The wet Ms. Turner is sitting down. I would now like to introduce the student government presidents. I'm very pleased to introduce the president of the Graduate and Professional Student Association, Adam Grupp. Adam?
Thank you, sir. Oh, I'm doing fine. Hello. Everybody staying dry? No. It is Seattle. Well, I'll be brief because the weather is just amazing. Recently, I asked a good friend and a colleague what sort of a message she wanted to hear from her graduate student president at graduation. This was shortly before our final exams commenced at the law school, and she looked at me and said with the most heartfelt sigh, "Everything is going to be okay." It might rain, though. And we both laughed, but I believe there's wisdom in that kind of an admonition. In our time at this great university, we've all faced challenges that tested our character, endurance, or simply our strength of will. Perhaps you can recall a moment like this, when you wondered if you'd get through the challenges of the day. But here you are. You're all graduates. So I pose a few simple challenges to you all. Look back over your time here, and perhaps even before. Think of the friends, the colleagues, the mentors, the family, or even complete strangers who contributed to your growth as a citizen scholar or simply as a person. Take a moment to appreciate how wonderful it is to be a member of this community we call the University of Washington. It's a community of hope, ingenuity, creativity, and elbow grease, and leadership. And if the present is any indication of our future, one of you may even become our university president someday. Finally, rediscover the dreams and schemes that brought you here in the first place, and remember what it was that you came here to do. Maybe you've achieved it already, or maybe this is simply the beginning. I feel privileged to be here, if only to deliver the message that everything is going to be okay. And into every life, a little rain must fall. To the class of 2005, congratulations. You've earned it. I wish you all the very best.
And now it's my pleasure to introduce the President of the Associated Students of the University of Washington, Ms. Kelsey Knowles. Kelsey.
The real test will be if I can actually read my speech in the rain. Helen Hayes' mother is quoted as saying, "Achievement is the knowledge that you have studied and worked hard and done what is best for you. Success is being praised by others, and that's nice too, but not always as important or satisfying. Always aim for achievement and forget about success." Well, grads, today you are receiving the best of both worlds. You are considered 100% successful by the university for your utmost achievements, and for that you deserve complete congratulations. Make sure to enjoy yourselves. The past 4 years for me have been filled with quite a few memories, countless revelations, and a newfound appreciation for the finer things that the University District has to offer. I'm sure that each and every one of you graduates has your own special memories from however many years you have spent here at the university, but I'm going to take a moment to share with you a few of mine, as well as a few pieces of advice that I've picked up along the way. I'll always remember the games of shuffleboard at the Dutch, and how the best way to see half the people you know after summer break is actually going to the bookstore during the first week of class and buying your books. I'll remember how excited I was when the university Zoka opened up, and also for Tommy's Thursday night specials, Pagliacci's and Pizza Ragazza. Need I say more? And of course, there are the classic UW conventions that everyone, at some point in your time in UW, has experienced. The memories of listening to the Husky Marching Band CD on repeat and tailgating before a football game, of realizing that spring has finally arrived when the cherry trees bloom in the quad, and wondering what the words to Louie Louie actually are, and when it rains, slipping at least once, or in this case, a few times on your way up to the stage, or on the bricks in Red Square. These are the memories that we as graduates all share, regardless of your different experience here. Cherish these. There are just a few of which will tie you together as alumni of this great institution. I'll remember how exciting it was when my U-Bookstore patron refund check came in the fall and I'd completely forgotten that it was supposed to come. And when I did actually slip, or more than once, how my friends would first laugh and then assure me that no one in Red Square had actually seen. Muhammad Ali once said, "Friendship is the hardest thing in the world to explain. It's not something you learn in school. But if you haven't learned the meaning of friendship, you really haven't learned anything." That being said, AOE to a few of my closest friends who have taught me more than I think I was prepared for and remained a positive force throughout my 4 years here. Our lives are not determined by what happens to us, but by how we react to what happens, not by what life brings us, but by the attitude we bring to life. A positive attitude causes a chain reaction of positive thoughts, events, and outcomes. It is a catalyst, a spark that creates extraordinary results. This anonymous quote should be all of the advice we ever need as we look forward and commence with the rest of our lives. However, it is important that we remember that sometimes the best advice comes from when we are children. From Shel Silverstein, "There is a voice inside of you that whispers all day long. I feel that it is right for me. I know that this is wrong. No teacher, preacher, parent, friend, or wise man can decide. What's right for you, just listen to the voice that speaks inside." Thank you. Congratulations, all you graduates, and enjoy the rain.
Thank you, Kelsey. Well, this afternoon's commencement speaker is nothing if not a good sport. Our commencement speaker is Robert Rubin, Secretary of the Treasury under President Bill Clinton. Mr. Rubin has been prominent in the financial and public policy arenas for many years and is currently an officer of Citigroup, Inc. Mr. Rubin earned degrees from Harvard and Yale Law and then began a highly successful career in finance. He was co-chairman of Goldman Sachs and Company when President-elect Clinton invited him to join the new administration in 1993. Mr. Rubin served 2 years as assistant to the President for Economic Policy and director of the new National Economic Council. He then became Secretary of the Treasury, a post he held from 1995 until he returned to the private sector in 1999. In his years in Washington, Mr. Rubin played a leading role in many important policy debates. He was involved in balancing the federal budget, opening trade policy to further globalization, acting to stem financial crises in Mexico, Asia, and Russia, introducing inflation index securities, and guiding reforms to the Internal Revenue Service. Mr. Rubin holds positions on corporate and nonprofit boards and is vice chairman of the Council on Foreign Relations. Please welcome Robert Rubin. Robert? Sure you don't want an umbrella?
No, I'm all right.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President. When I was in Washington, the opposition used to say I was all wet. I suppose, in a sense, this proves they were right. I am honored and also rather wet to be with you this afternoon as your commencement speaker. When I started to think about what I would discuss with you today, it quickly led to me to reflect on my own college education and how truly formative it was with respect to everything I subsequently did. My college education experience is best captured by a philosophy course I took, taught by a wise elderly Greek professor who took us through the great figures of Western thought to lead us to focus on questions, not answers. And that perspective is what has guided me my entire life, and that perspective is what a university education is all about. It is not about accepting what's before you at face value or about learning the right answers, but rather about asking the right questions, relentlessly searching for greater understanding, and weighing and balancing the evidence to reach the best possible conclusions. Your education at this great university has thereby prepared you across many disciplines to engage with a world of change, complexity, and uncertainty that, in my judgment, based on many, many years involved in markets and economic issues, is of historic proportions with respect to our economy, the global economy, and national security. Let me begin my remarks by illustrating my point about change. Then I'll draw on my experience to discuss two separate but related matters, which I believe will be central to your lives in the years ahead. First, the imperative need to greatly increase the commitment of our citizens and those in public office to effective governance. That is, to making decisions that are tough politically, to approaching them based on facts and analysis, and to finding common ground amongst divergent views in order to move ahead on the issues critical to our future. My second subject will be decision-making, which has been at the core of everything I've done and will be at the core of everything you do. Let me start by illustrating the enormous change that has occurred in this moment of history. An Asian finance minister told me recently about a meeting where the finance ministers of Japan, China, and Korea, with their countries holding $1.7 trillion of foreign exchange currencies, had lengthy discussions about whether there was anything these countries could do to help the United States in light of our large trade deficits. The real answer to that question is only America can solve its own problems through its economic policies. But when I heard this story, I thought to myself that a meeting of these three Asian countries to see what they could do to help America would have been inconceivable at any prior point in my career, and that symbolizes how greatly the world is changing. Today, technology, globalization, and the rise of dynamic market-based developing nations are creating historic change in the economic environment for all of our countries and the economic environment that you will face as you head out into the world. For example, large numbers of well-educated workers in the lower wage environments of China and India now compete in a broad array of manufacturing areas and in a wide array of services, ranging from call centers to software development and reading x-rays. The recent votes on the European Constitution in France and the Netherlands and polls in this country indicate how much anxiety this change is creating. However, these changes can create new opportunities for the industrial countries, especially the United States, with our embrace of change. But to realize those opportunities, our political systems must do far better in meeting our public policy challenges, which gets to the question of effective governance. To turn now to that question of effective governance and focusing on the United States, I have spent my entire life in a market-based economy, and I believe strongly in a market-based, private sector-driven economy. But I believe equally that our economic success depends on a host of critically important underpinning functions that markets by their nature cannot and will not provide, from broad-based quality public education and key elements of basic research and infrastructure to international economics and national security. These vital needs can only be met through our collective effort, and that is government. And let me add to those vital needs global poverty. Since we are in Seattle, where business and other sectors have come together through the Initiative for Global Development to advocate for greatly increased aid and for trade measures for the poorer nations. Poverty should be a compelling moral issue, but it is also a powerfully important economic issue for all of us. Just imagine the social cost that could be saved and the productivity gains that could be had in both our nation and around the world if those who live in poverty, here and abroad, were effectively equipped to enter the mainstream economy. I do not believe, looking forward, that we will have the luxury that my generation had of behaving as if we lived in a gated community. The global integration that on balance has been so beneficial and that contributes so much also means that environmental problems, disease, terrorism, political instability, and so much else that poorer nations do not have the resources to deal with can affect us profoundly as well. There is still far from broad-based agreement amongst our people on the economic imperative to address poverty, but there is a broad agreement that many issues critical to our future are not being effectively addressed by our political system. For example, the inadequacies of public education and our deeply dangerous and deeply threatening fiscal prospects. There are vigorous debates, as there should be in our democracy, about how these issues should be addressed, but what should not be a matter of debate is a commitment on the part of all of our citizens and all in public office to effective governance, that is, to moving forward by approaching issues through analysis and facts, by making politically tough decisions, and by finding common ground. Far too little of that is happening today. How to move from where our political system is to where our political system must be is obviously a big and complex question. But two observations seem particularly pertinent today on your graduation. Firstly, Alan Greenspan, chairman of the Federal Reserve Board, was quoted in Time magazine as saying that the reason he, as a relatively conservative Republican, worked well with the Clinton administration on the enormous economic challenges of that time was because we together focused on facts and analysis rather than basing our views on opinion and ideology. That focus on facts and analysis, thank you all. That focus on facts and analysis is what you have been trained to do at the University of Washington, what our political system must do today, and what you can push through for push for through your own political engagement. Secondly, I would strongly urge that you spend at least part, or hopefully all, in the case of some of you, of your careers in public service, which can be a most extraordinary experience, both in what you contribute and what you can learn. When I began in our administration, a distinguished former cabinet member told me that I would have to live off my previously accumulated intellectual capital because I would be too busy to add to it. I found just the opposite, that my time in government was the most intense learning experience of my life on matters such as how our government worked, on the interaction between the media, public opinion, and our political processes, and a vast array of public policy issues. You have been prepared through the education that we celebrate today for the complex, intense, and consequential intellectual challenges of public life, and your country needs you. Beyond that, all of you and all of us as citizens must greatly increase our engagement in our nation's political processes to support views, think tanks, advocacy groups, and political figures with whom we agree, and then very, very importantly, to hold these people and organizations accountable for making our political system work. And that leads naturally to my second point, decision-making. Everything in my own life suggests to me, firstly, that the absolute key for your engagement in our political processes and for all else that you do in life is to approach decision-making effectively. And secondly, that effective decision-making begins with the proposition that there are no provable certainties. That view of modern science and much of modern philosophy, that there are no provable absolutes or certain answers, quickly leads to recognizing that all significant issues are inherently complex and uncertain, and as a consequence, that all decisions are about probabilities and trade-offs. That, in turn, should lead to restlessly seeking to better understand whatever is before you in order to best refine your judgments about these probabilities and trade-offs, which is exactly what your education has prepared you to do. All of this may sound somewhat abstract and conceptual, but in fact it is intensely practical. For me, survival in running major trading operations on Wall Street absolutely required a probabilistic approach to risk-taking. I've known many traders who sometimes abandoned that perspective when facing opportunities they thought were sure things. But even sure things, when properly understood, are simply matters of very high probability, and every once in a while a low probability of failure occurred, leaving the traders who bet the ranch on a sure thing broke or fired. We also sometimes invested very heavily when the odds are strong, but recognizing the chance of failure, we never invested to the extent that we couldn't live to fight another day. Similarly, when I was in Washington and we faced issues such as how to best address the economic duress of the early 1990s, and later how to deal with the Mexican financial crisis of 1995 and the Asian financial crisis of 1997, 1998, there were no certain answers, only possible policy steps forward and probabilities to attach to each. This probabilistic framework led to sounder decisions, and in addition, realizing that decisions are about odds and therefore have at least a possibility of not turning out as you expect, leads to contingency planning, which can make all the difference when matters do go unexpectedly. Let me close Since I'm soaking wet, I tend to agree with you. Let me close. By saying that I've tried to share a few reflections today drawn from my life, but as your reaction has just indicated, graduation speeches tend not to be long remembered. I don't even remember who spoke at my graduation. But what you should remember is a feeling of deep pride in graduating from this distinguished university, a feeling of gratitude to your parents and families for the help that they have given you, and a feeling of respect for the dedication and insight of those who have taught you. So I congratulate you, graduating today, for all you have accomplished on this extraordinary occasion in your lives. I wish each of you the best in the years and decades ahead, and I hope you will remember and cherish this fine university always. Good luck, and thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Rubin. You are a wonderful sport. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached a point in this program where we're going to do something very untraditional. We're going to engage in some democracy. This is the point where we can make a decision whether to say it's too wet and too cold to move forward and abbreviate the ceremony, or, which means you don't get to walk across the stage, or we can go ahead, ignore the weather, recognize all of these friends and family that are here, and have you all come across the stage as planned. I think we do that. Let's proceed in good Northwestern fashion. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now ready to present the various degrees to all candidates. The audience is requested to remain in their seats until the conclusion of today's ceremony. Candidates for the doctor's degree in the School of Medicine will be presented to you, Mr. President, by Associate Dean Carol McLaren.
Mr. President, it is an honor for me to present a list of 161 candidates for the degree of Doctor of Medicine. I recommend that all candidates who have successfully completed the requirements of the degree be awarded the Doctor of Medicine degree. We recognize these candidates at a ceremony held earlier. Most of them have proceeded to their residency training in sunnier and drier locations. Medical graduates who are here will participate with the other doctoral candidates. Thank you.
Candidates for doctor's degrees in the School of Medicine, Dentistry will be presented to you, Mr. President, by Dean Martha Sommerman.
Mr. President, it is my pleasure and honor to present a list of doctoral candidates from the School of Dentistry. I recommend that all that fulfill their requirements be awarded their degrees. These graduates were honored last Saturday in a dry ceremony.
Candidates for Juris Doctor degrees in the School of Law, Mr. President, will be presented to you by Dean Joe Knight.
Mr. President, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Law, I have the honor of presenting a list of 179 candidates for the degree of Juris Doctorate, with the recommendation that each who has fulfilled the requirements be awarded that degree. Ceremonies to honor these graduates will be held tomorrow in a dry location.
Candidates for Doctor of Pharmacy degrees in the School of Pharmacy, Mr. President, will be presented by Dean Sid Nelson.
Mr. President, it is an honor for me to provide you a list of 94 candidates for the degree of Doctor of Pharmacy. I recommend that all of these graduates who have fulfilled their requirements be awarded their doctoral degrees. These candidates were honored in a ceremony last night, and many of them are now studying for their board exams and or are recuperating from celebrations. Would the candidates please come forward with the other doctoral candidates? Thank you.
Candidates for doctoral degrees will be presented by Acting Dean Elizabeth Feetham of the Graduate School.
Mr. President, here with us today are candidates who have completed all requirements for the degrees Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Education, Doctor of Musical Arts, Doctor of Physical Therapy, or Doctor of Audiology. I request them to rise. Get up, kids. Mr. President, on behalf of the deans of the schools and colleges and the graduate faculty, I'm pleased and honored to present the candidates for the highest degrees awarded by the university. The names of those awarded doctoral degrees this year are listed in the commencement program, along with the titles of their dissertations and the names of their faculty supervisors. I recommend that these candidates be awarded their respective doctoral degrees.
On behalf of the Board of Regents and the graduate faculty, I am pleased to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Education, Doctor of Musical Arts, Doctor of Physical Therapy, or Doctor of Audiology. Congratulations. Please come forward.
Thanks. Like that?
Alan C. Hain, Doctor of Philosophy, Economics.
The card. Nesrin Ozal, Doctor of Philosophy, Mechanical Engineering.
Ian Andrew Lang, Doctor of Philosophy, Economics.
J.J. Shao, Industrial Engineering.
Arif Al-Mamoon, Doctor of Philosophy, Economics.
Shi Chen, Doctor of Philosophy, Pharmacology.
Christopher Scott Laws, Doctor of Philosophy, Astronomy.
Sunil Chibolu, Doctor of Philosophy, Mathematics.
Viren Pavlokovich, Doctor of Philosophy, History.
Ajay Anand, Doctor of Philosophy, Electrical Engineering.
Jennifer Ann Price, Doctor of Philosophy, History.
Shunkaran Anirudhan, Doctor of Philosophy, Electrical Engineering.
Ali Igban, Doctor of Philosophy, History.
Mindy Roberts, Doctor of Philosophy, Civil Engineering.
Leslie Marie Carmichael, Doctor of Philosophy, Linguistics.
Ashish Sabarwal, Doctor of Philosophy, Computer Science and Engineering.
Susan Lloyd McBurney, Doctor of Philosophy, Linguistics.
Ratul Mahajan, Doctor of Philosophy, Computer Science and Engineering.
Makihara Hideo, Doctor of Philosophy, Linguistics.
Tammy Sueko Vandergrift, Doctor of Philosophy, Computer Science and Engineering.
Summer Lockerbie Randall, Doctor of Philosophy, Chemistry.
Jessica Maria Yellen, Doctor of Philosophy, Mechanical Engineering.
Miles White, Doctor of Philosophy, Ethnomusicology.
Montasa Nazmi Al-Kutub, Doctor of Philosophy, Oral Biology.
Christine Helen Solis, Doctor of Philosophy, Comparative Literature.
Helene E. Starks, Doctor of Philosophy, Health Services.
Kari Reagan Hoffman, Doctor of Musical Arts in Voice Performance.
Lucia Arlis Hindorf, Doctor of Philosophy, Epidemiology.
Seung Boom Kai, Doctor of Philosophy, History.
Susan Searles Nielsen, Doctor of Philosophy, Epidemiology.
Michael Andrew Zenos, Doctor of Philosophy, Political Science.
Deborah Lee Fulton Kehoe, Doctor of Philosophy, Epidemiology.
Verena Katrin Hess, Doctor of Philosophy, Communication.
Tham Yang Nu Ton, Doctor of Philosophy, Epidemiology.
Saskia Witterborn, Doctor of Philosophy, Communication.
Jason C. Harris Boundy, Doctor of Philosophy, Business Administration.
Thomas Joseph Michello, Doctor of Philosophy, Anthropology.
Brosh Manaham Tusher, Doctor of Philosophy, Business Administration.
Ismael Vaccaro, Doctor of Philosophy, Anthropology.
Stephen Jeremy Dietz, Doctor of Philosophy, Computer Science and Engineering.
James Patrick Shelby, Doctor of Philosophy, Chemistry.
Ruth Fruland, Doctor of Philosophy and Education.
Ki Yong Choi, Doctor of Philosophy, Physics.
Amlan Mukherjee, Doctor of Philosophy, Civil Engineering.
Sharon Louise Berg, Doctor of Philosophy, Scandinavian Language and Literature, Theory and Criticism.
Soren Lerner, Doctor of Philosophy, Computer Science and Engineering.
Sandra Toro Martel, Doctor of Philosophy, Education.
Jayant Madhavan, Doctor of Philosophy, Computer Science and Engineering.
Yi Shui Lin, Doctor of Philosophy, Education.
Li Zhang, Doctor of Philosophy, Computer Science and Engineering.
Susan Reynolds Pinchan, Doctor of Philosophy, Education.
Chen Yung Karen Liu, Doctor of Philosophy, Computer Science and Engineering.
John Ambrosio, Doctor of Philosophy, Education.
Brett Allen, Doctor of Philosophy, Computer Science and Engineering.
Eleni Mikhail Ekonomitou, Doctor of Philosophy, Education.
Donald J. Patterson III, Doctor of Philosophy, Computer Science and Engineering.
Sandra Hiramatsu, Doctor of Philosophy, Education.
Jerome A. Miklau, Doctor of Philosophy, Computer Science and Engineering.
Stephen Dennis Whitney, Doctor of Philosophy, Education.
Joseph Timothy Tennis, Doctor of Philosophy, Information Science.
Marco Jean Zangari, Doctor of Philosophy, Classics.
Valerie Ann Ayezo, Doctor of Philosophy, Aeronautics and Astronautics.
Cheryl Lorraine Pothier Harmer, Doctor of Education, Education Leadership and Policy Studies.
Chunhua Weng, Doctor of Philosophy, Biomedical Health and Informatics.
Deborah Gonzalez, Doctor of Philosophy, Education, Educational Leadership and Policy Studies.
Yeping Su, Doctor of Philosophy, Electrical Engineering.
Catherine A. Frome, Doctor of Education, Educational Leadership and Policy Studies.
Xiufeng Xiao, Doctor of Philosophy, Electrical Engineering.
Andrew L. Rogers, Doctor of Education, Educational Leadership and Policy Studies.
Yiting Chow, Doctor of Philosophy, Chemical Engineering.
Kathleen M. Budge, Doctor of Education, Educational Leadership and Policy Studies.
Jessica Green Zuniga, Doctor of Philosophy, Genetics.
Monty Lee Bridges, Doctor of Education, Educational Leadership and Policy Studies.
Jennifer Lee Eklund, Doctor of Philosophy, Genetics.
Marguerite Finnegan, Doctor of Philosophy, English.
Robert Maxwell Robinson, Doctor of Philosophy, Molecular Biotechnology.
Brandy Paris, Doctor of Philosophy, English.
Thorarin Arnenson, Doctor of Philosophy, Oceanography.
Spencer Wood Schaffner, Doctor of Philosophy, English.
Robin Diane Lesher, Doctor of Philosophy, Forest Resources.
Colby David Nelson, Doctor of Philosophy, English.
Richard Allen Grotefend, Doctor of Philosophy, Forest Resources.
Alyssa Janae Carl, Doctor of Philosophy, English.
Kevin Lloyd Featherston, Doctor of Philosophy, Forest Resources.
Lana Dali, Doctor of Philosophy, English.
Michael Gardner Andrew, Doctor of Philosophy, Forest Resources.
Ji Young Lee, Doctor of Musical Arts, Organ Performance.
Carol Jean Voke, Doctor of Philosophy, Forest Resources.
James Lee Borgford Parnell, Doctor of Philosophy, Education.
Carrie Elise Monahan, Doctor of Philosophy, Forest Resources.
David Allen Canfield Buddha, Doctor of Philosophy, Germanics.
Edith Carol Sonny Hall, Doctor of Philosophy, Forest Resources.
Roger William Stevie, Doctor of Philosophy, Speech and Hearing Sciences.
Marianne Elliott, Doctor of Philosophy, Forest Resources.
Richard Paul Jackson, Doctor of Philosophy, Communication.
Timothy W. Jackson, Doctor of Philosophy, Aeronautics and Astronautics.
Paul H. Zefus, Doctor of Philosophy, Geological Sciences.
Josh Paul Sementi, Doctor of Philosophy, Aeronautics and Astronautics.
Michael A. O'Neill, Doctor of Philosophy, Geological Sciences.
Elizabeth Ann Tutmark, Juris Doctor, School of Law.
Christopher Ryan Hartman Hanusa, Doctor of Philosophy, Mathematics.
Dianis Wojciechonik, Doctor of Philosophy, Music Arts.
David Wayne White, Doctor of Philosophy, Mathematics.
Onkanoki Punraksa, Doctor of Philosophy, Law.
Joan Ruth Lind, Doctor of Philosophy, Mathematics.
Izumi Misawa, Doctor of Philosophy, Pathology.
Dylan William Hallowell, Doctor of Philosophy, Mathematics.
Kunakon Puchinda, Doctor of Philosophy, Chemical Engineering.
Peter John Littig, Doctor of Philosophy, Mathematics.
Hyo Chung Park, Doctor of Philosophy, Nursing.
Peter John Couperis, Doctor of Philosophy, Mathematics.
Danuta M. Voinar, Doctor of Philosophy, Nursing.
Dan Kavika Yoshimoto, Doctor of Philosophy, Psychology.
Anu Wadwa, Doctor of Philosophy, Business Administration.
Brenda Schumpert, Doctor of Philosophy, Zoology.
George Astrakianis, Doctor of Philosophy, Environmental and Occupational Hygiene. Sorry,
Fallon Belva Savage, Doctor of Philosophy, Chemistry.
Carrie Lynn Husner, Doctor of Philosophy, Biochemistry.
Sharon S. Chen, Doctor of Philosophy, Bioengineering.
Sui Wee Jane, Doctor of Philosophy, Nursing.
Milan Diebel, Doctor of Philosophy, Physics.
Jun Yu Fan, Doctor of Philosophy, Nursing.
David Lee Rector, Doctor of Education, Educational Leadership, and Policy Studies.
Devon Michael Berry, Doctor of Philosophy, Nursing.
John C. M. Nelson, Doctor of Philosophy, Comparative Literature.
Anna Zisberg, Doctor of Philosophy, Nursing.
Unmin Bai, Doctor of Philosophy, Electrical Engineering.
Elizabeth Austin Gilbert, Doctor of Philosophy, Nursing.
Hyun Ju Yang, Doctor of Musical Arts, Vocal Performance.
Yi Han, Doctor of Philosophy, Electrical Engineering.
Betsy Elizabeth Beam, Doctor of Philosophy, Political Science.
Xiao Li, Doctor of Philosophy, Electrical Engineering.
Catherine Elizabeth Stenger, Doctor of Philosophy, Political Science.
Ji Zhang, Doctor of Philosophy, Chemical Engineering.
Turan Kayaolu, Doctor of Philosophy, Political Science.
Xuan Hong Cheng, Doctor of Philosophy, Bioengineering.
Greg David Miller, Doctor of Philosophy, Political Science.
Haixia Dai, Doctor of Philosophy, Chemical Engineering.
Gina Kim, Doctor of Philosophy, Asian Language and Literature.
Ming Ni, Doctor of Philosophy, Chemical Engineering.
Matthew Edward Peters, Doctor of Philosophy, Applied Mathematics.
Hua Wang, Doctor of Philosophy, Chemical Engineering.
Sasha Nicole Vinieri, Doctor of Philosophy, Zoology.
Yuheng Huang, Doctor of Philosophy, Electrical Engineering.
Holly Evelyn Walsh, Doctor of Philosophy, Zoology.
Yu Ling Lan, Doctor of Philosophy, Educational Psychology.
Kevin Charles Flick, Doctor of Philosophy, Zoology.
Chia En Teng, Doctor of Philosophy, Education.
Christopher Michael Hess, Doctor of Philosophy, Zoology.
Mark Taquino, Doctor of Philosophy, Bioengineering.
James Andrew Sherman, Doctor of Philosophy, Molecular Biotechnology.
Jessica Mayumi Isawa, Doctor of Pharmacy, School of Pharmacy.
Siddhartha Sikdar, Doctor of Philosophy, Electrical Engineering.
Kim Michelle Radank, Doctor of Pharmacy, School of Pharmacy.
Sandy Konechny, Doctor of Philosophy, Education.
John Patrick P.D. Braswell, Doctor of Pharmacy, School of Pharmacy.
Pamela S. Hart, Doctor of Philosophy, Education.
Freya Touchette, Doctor of Physical Therapy, School of Medicine.
Cynthia Denning Del Rosario, Doctor of Education, Educational Leadership and Policy Studies.
Laura Jo Nelson, Doctor of Physical Therapy, School of Medicine.
Amrit Zahir, Doctor of Philosophy, Education.
Jana Lynn David, Doctor of Physical Therapy, School of Medicine.
Jennifer Harris, Doctor of Philosophy, Education.
Garrett F. Knapp, Doctor of Physical Therapy, School of Medicine.
Jennifer Priceman, Doctor of Philosophy, Education.
Amber Ann Swedberg, Doctor of Physical Therapy, School of Medicine.
Kyung Suk Catherine Jun, Doctor of Musical Arts, Vocal Performance.
Kathy Lee Day, Doctor of Physical Therapy, School of Medicine.
Ayana Moore, Doctor of Philosophy, Physiology, and Biophysics.
Hilary J. Workala, Doctor of Physical Therapy, School of Medicine.
David Brian Williams, Doctor of Philosophy, Applied Mathematics.
Nicole Marie Smith, Doctor of Physical Therapy, School of Medicine.
Rie Komuro, Doctor of Philosophy, Applied Mathematics.
Brianna R. Pumper, Doctor of Physical Therapy, School of Medicine.
Kyun Suk Chung, Doctor of Philosophy, Economics.
Nathan James Lowry, Doctor of Physical Therapy, School of Medicine.
Han Sung Kim, Doctor of Philosophy, Economics.
Aisha Gray, Doctor of Philosophy, Fisheries.
Jada Oner, Doctor of Philosophy, Economics.
Vera Natalie Agostini, Doctor of Philosophy, Aquatic and Fishery Sciences.
Maria Nikolaevna Kozhevnikova, Doctor of Philosophy, Economics.
Guoqing Li, Doctor of Philosophy, Electrical Engineering.
Guan Ta Lo, Doctor of Philosophy, Economics.
Lu Chen, Doctor of Philosophy, Public Health, Biostatistics.
Narayan Kundan Kishore, Doctor of Philosophy, Economics.
Hao Liu, Doctor of Philosophy, Public Health, Biostatistics.
Martin Velzel, Doctor of Musical Arts, Organ Performance.
Qian Men Feng, Doctor of Philosophy, Industrial Engineering.
Amy L. Donaldson, Doctor of Philosophy, Speech and Hearing Sciences.
Yan Fang Shen, Doctor of Philosophy, Industrial Engineering.
Dan Qian Mao, Doctor of Philosophy, Chemistry.
Yong Wang, Doctor of Philosophy, Electrical Engineering.
Bing Yung Yun Sun, Doctor of Philosophy, Chemistry.
Han Sang Cho, Doctor of Philosophy, Electrical Engineering.
Christopher J. Tanzola, Doctor of Philosophy, Chemistry.
Zhang He Kang, Doctor of Philosophy, Computer Science and Engineering.
Stephen E. Bowles, Doctor of Philosophy, Chemistry.
Songrit Chayanan, Doctor of Philosophy, Civil Engineering.
Jasper C. Lin, Doctor of Philosophy, Chemistry.
Xiaoping Zhang, Doctor of Philosophy, Civil Engineering.
Yongxiang Li, Doctor of Philosophy, Anthropology.
Natorn Jiankrangjar, Doctor of Philosophy, Electrical Engineering.
Isabel Sarton Miller, Doctor of Philosophy, Anthropology.
Urachada Gepram, Doctor of Philosophy, Electrical Engineering.
Karma Crispian Norman, Doctor of Philosophy, Anthropology.
John Francis Keene, Doctor of Philosophy, Electrical Engineering.
Denise Marie Glover, Doctor of Philosophy, Anthropology.
Young Ming Lee, Doctor of Philosophy, Business Administration.
Nan Marie Greer, Doctor of Philosophy, Anthropology.
Zhang Han Yu, Doctor of Philosophy, Civil Engineering.
Dawn Rochelle Bringleson, Doctor of Philosophy, Anthropology.
Jie Ryu, Doctor of Philosophy, Civil Engineering.
Sydney Elizabeth Cheek O'Donnell, Doctor of Philosophy, Theater History and Criticism.
Brooke Lynn Fitterer, Doctor of Physical Therapy, School of Medicine.
Leo A. Sanker, Doctor of Musical Arts, Choral Conducting.
Amy J. LeCount, Doctor of Physical Therapy, School of Medicine.
Stephen LaVere Tate Jr., Doctor of Philosophy, Physics.
Claire E. Adam, Doctor of Physical Therapy, School of Medicine.
Degree William Clark Griffith, Doctor of Philosophy, Physics.
Michael T. Hansen, Doctor of Physical Therapy, School of Medicine.
Christopher S. Bowlby, Doctor of Musical Arts, Piano Performance.
Erin Nora Simon, Doctor of Physical Therapy, School of Medicine.
Mark Lewis Gray, Doctor of Philosophy, Education.
Yun Hee Denton, Doctor of Physical Therapy, School of Medicine.
Eric Bruce Schmidt, Doctor of Philosophy, Philosophy.
Darren James Corte, Doctor of Pharmacy, School of Pharmacy.
Yui E. Lee, Doctor of Philosophy, Nutritional Sciences.
Colin Stephen Conway, Doctor of Pharmacy, School of Pharmacy.
Brianna L. Mitchell, Doctor of Philosophy, Molecular and Cellular Biology.
Tedros Abraha Gebreselassie, Doctor of Pharmacy, School of Pharmacy.
Shohini Ghosh, Doctor of Philosophy, Chemistry.
Nathan James Kohler, Doctor of Philosophy, Materials Science and Engineering.
Gwen Marie Lamphere Gross, Doctor of Philosophy, Chemistry.
Taisuke Ota, Doctor of Philosophy, Materials Science and Engineering, Nanotechnology.
Regina Ann Husett, Doctor of Philosophy, Chemistry.
Jennifer Lynn Edwards, Doctor of Philosophy, Sociology.
Hyung Ju Kim, Doctor of Philosophy, Geography.
Elizabeth Jackson, Doctor of Philosophy, Sociology.
Pamela Grace Samia Costas, Doctor of Philosophy, Ethnomusicology.
Alicia Durfee, Doctor of Philosophy, Sociology.
Natalia V. Kalendarov, Doctor of Musical Arts, Piano Performance.
Travis Walter Anderson Bond, Doctor of Philosophy, Sociology.
Tree Tung Jackie Liu, Doctor of Philosophy, Music Education.
Davis Glenn Patterson, Doctor of Philosophy, Sociology.
Niru Rohila, Doctor of Audiology.
Eric Walter Steinman, Doctor of Philosophy, Sociology.
Brenna Carroll, Doctor of Audiology.
David Alexander McFarlane, Doctor of Philosophy, Education.
Melanie Duldulau, Doctor of Audiology. Marie Barger, Doctor of Audiology. Evelyn Davis Venn, Doctor of Audiology. Tasso G. Lagos, Doctor of Philosophy, Communication.
Candidates for master's degrees will be presented by Dean Feetham of the Graduate School.
Candidates for the various master's degrees will please rise. Mr. President, on behalf of the deans of the schools and colleges, I am honored to present these candidates to receive their respective master's degrees.
On behalf of the Board of Regents and the graduate faculty, I'm pleased to confer upon each of you your master's degree. Congratulations. Please come forward.
Mr. President, candidates for bachelor's degrees in the various colleges and schools of the university will be presented to you by the several deans. The candidates who have been accepted by the general faculty of the university for their respective degrees are listed in the commencement program. Candidates for bachelor's degrees in the College of Arts and Sciences will be presented to you, Mr. President, by Dean David Hodge.
Will the proud and dedicated students of the College of Arts and Sciences please rise? Mr. President, I have the honor to present these candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, Bachelor of Music, and Bachelor of Science, and recommend that all who have fulfilled the requirements of the College of Arts and Sciences be awarded their respective degrees. Students, please sit.
Bachelor's candidates from the College of Engineering, Mr. President, will be presented to you by Acting Dean Mani Soma.
Candidates from the College of Engineering will please rise. Great. It gives me great pleasure, Mr. President, to present these candidates of the College of Engineering for the degrees of Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Science in Engineering, Bachelor of Science in Aeronautical and Astronautical, Chemical, Civil and Environmental, Computer, Electrical, Industrial and Mechanical Engineering, Bioengineering, Material Science and Engineering, and Technical Communication. I recommend that all who have fulfilled the requirements of the College of Engineering be awarded their bachelor's degrees. Candidates will please be seated.
Candidates from the College of Forest Resources will be presented to you, Mr. President, by Dean Bruce Baer.
Candidates from the College of Forest Resources, please rise. Mr. President, it is my pleasure and honor to present these candidates for their bachelor's degrees in forest resources and recommend that all who have fulfilled the requirements of the College of Forest Resources be awarded their respective bachelor's degrees. Candidates, please be seated.
Bachelor candidates from the Information School, Mr. President, will be presented to you by Dean Michael B. Eisenberg.
Will the candidates from the groundbreaking Information School please rise? Mr. President, it is with pride and pleasure that I present to you the candidates from the Information School for the degree of Bachelors of Science in Informatics. It is my privilege to acknowledge their degree requirements from the school and recommend that all who have completed the requirements of their Bachelors of Informatics be granted their degrees. Will the candidates please be seated?
Bachelor candidates from the Business School will be presented to you, Mr. President, by Dean James Giambalvo.
Will the smart, hardworking, and ethical graduates from the Business School please rise? Mr. President, it's with much pride and pleasure that I present the candidates for bachelor's degree in the Business School, and I recommend that all who have fulfilled the requirements of the Business School be awarded their respective degrees. Please sit.
Bachelor candidates from the College of Ocean and Fishery Sciences, Mr. President, will be presented to you by Dean Arthur Noel.
Will the candidates from the College of Ocean and Fishery Sciences please rise? It gives me great pleasure, Mr. President, to present those candidates for bachelor's degrees in Oceanography and Aquatic and Fisheries Sciences. I recommend that all those who have completed the baccalaureate requirements of the college be awarded their respective degrees. Candidates, please be seated.
Bachelor candidates from the School of Nursing will be presented, Mr. President, by Dean Nancy Woods.
Will the candidates from the top-ranked School of Nursing in the nation please rise? Mr. President, it is my pleasure and honor to present to you the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Nursing. I commend them to you for the awarding of their respective degrees. Candidates, please be seated.
Bachelor candidates from the School of Dentistry will be presented to you, Mr. President, by Dean Sommerman.
Will the candidates from the School of Dentistry please rise? Mr. President, it is my pleasure and honor to present a list of candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Dental Hygiene. I recommend that all who have fulfilled the requirements be awarded their bachelor degrees. Candidates, please be seated.
Bachelor candidates from the College of Architecture and Urban Planning will be presented to you, Mr. President, by Dean Robert Mugarauer.
Will the candidates from the College of Architecture and Urban Planning please rise? Mr. President, I have the honor to present these candidates for bachelor degrees in architecture, urban planning, landscape architecture, construction management, and community and environmental planning, who specialize in the design and building of roofs, and recommend that all who have fulfilled the requirements of the college be awarded their respective bachelor degrees. Candidates, please be seated.
Bachelor candidates from the School of Medicine will be presented to you, Mr. President, by Associate Dean McLaren.
Will the bachelor candidates from the School of Medicine please rise? Mr. President, it's a privilege to present the bachelor candidates from the School of Medicine in the specialized fields of medical technology, prosthetics and orthotics, and our Medics Northwest Physician's Assistance Program. Many of the degrees are being conferred in absentia, as these candidates have already taken up positions in the region. Thank you. Candidates may be seated.
Candidates from the School of Social Work will be presented to you, Mr. President, by Dean Dorothy Van Soest.
Will the candidates from the number 3 School of Social Work in the United States please rise? Mr. President, on behalf of the social work faculty, it is my privilege to present these candidates for their bachelor's degrees in social welfare and recommend that all who have fulfilled the requirements be awarded their respective degrees. Candidates, please be seated.
Candidates from the School of Public Health and Community Medicine will be presented to you, Mr. President, by Dean Patricia Wall.
Will the candidates from the only accredited School of Public Health in the Northwest please rise? Mr. President, it gives me great pleasure to present these candidates for bachelor's degrees in the School of Public Health. I recommend that all who have received their recommendation to complete their degrees be awarded their respective degrees. Candidates, please be seated.
All bachelor candidates from all schools and colleges just presented will please rise. Following President Emmert's citation awarding the various bachelor's degrees, all candidates will be seated immediately and under direction of the faculty marshals will await their turn to come forward one row at a time.
On behalf of the Board of Regents and the faculty of the university, I'm pleased to confer upon each of you your bachelor's degrees. Congratulations. Please be seated.
Nice party. Congratulations. Good luck to you now. The audience will now please rise for the singing of the alma mater. The words are printed in the inside of the back cover of the commencement program.
To her we sing, who keeps the ward o'er all her sons from sea to sea. Our alma mater, Washington, a heath we give to thee. Child of the mighty western land, you're the mother of a mighty race. Silent or gentle vigil holds its strength, purity, and grace. All hail, O Washington, thy sons and daughters sing glad acclaim through years of youth and loyalty, and still in age we sing thy fame. In honor thy towers stand, thy battlements shine in dawning light, and glow again in sunset rays. All hail, O Washington!
Thank you very much. The audience and members of the graduating class are requested to remain at their seats until the recessional of the faculty is concluded. The graduating class is then free to join family and friends. The 130th commencement exercises of the University of Washington are now closed.
can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright